So in a few months, the Mate 30 Pro is going to be announced, at least based on previous years, most likely in October, most likely in London. I'm kind of excited for it because between the Mate series and the P series, the Mate series has always been my favorite lineup from Huawei. The reason being is because it gets all the technical advancements first. It gets the brand new chip, it gets some brand new displays, usually a slight update in design, and that's what we're gonna get to kind of figure out what the P series is gonna be like 6 months down the road. Now this year is gonna be kind of special because they're doing something a little bit different. The phone is gonna have this unique glass shape. It's gonna bend around the edges like other smartphones, but it's gonna do it by up to 90 degrees. Now this is gonna look absolutely gorgeous, but I don't think it's the best idea from a practical standpoint. If you've used phones with sloped edges, you know it's difficult to hold. For example, the OnePlus 7 Pro, I love this smartphone. Everything about it is fantastic, but the thing that I hate the most about it is the edge display. It just makes it feel a little bit more uncomfortable to hold. It becomes a little bit more slippier, and most importantly, it makes it harder to type on. Slippier, did I really just say slippier? Is that even a word? But the point is, looks is one thing, practicality is another thing. And I think if they're gonna do it, they're gonna have to do it in a way that it makes it comfortable for the user to type on. Now, I think this is gonna be the year, or at least 2019 and 2020, of higher refresh rate phones. I think we're gonna see a lot of 90 Hz panels become a very common thing on the Android side of things. And I think they're gonna bring that with the Mate 30 Pro. The display is getting bigger again, 6.7 inches. Some of you out there are gonna love this. Other people like myself wish they didn't do that. I like a 6-inch device or 6.2-inch device. I think we're getting a little bit too crazy with the screen sizes. I know we're reducing the size of the bezels, and I know that the Mate 30 Pro is gonna have thinner bezels on the bottom and the top, but still, at the end of the day, 6.7 inches is pretty big to carry in your pocket. Now, the thing about this device is that there's a few things they need to improve from last year. We know that the fingerprint scanner was the optical one. It was the first generation. So they're gonna be using the second generation, possibly third. So it's gonna be quicker and faster than ever before. Trust me, my wife has this phone. She loves the Mate 20 Pro, but she hates the optical sensor. It's just too inaccurate and too slow. The other thing is 3D facial recognition. I think Huawei's finally going to do it and be the first Android manufacturer to be on par with what Apple's doing with Face ID. I've used facial recognition on the Mate 20 Pro and it's not the greatest. It works sometimes and other times it's just very frustrating. So if they can nail this on the Mate 30 Pro, it's gonna be a big achievement for them. So that means one thing you're gonna have for sure, and that's a notch on top of the device. I'm cool with it. Most likely it's gonna be a smaller notch, bigger than what's on the P30 Pro, so it's not gonna be a teardrop, and that's only because they have to fit those extra sensors inside of it. Now the processor is gonna be the Kirin 985. This is a big deal because it's still a 7nm chip, and based on another year of improvements, we can expect better efficiency because you have a smaller SoC, and 2, faster clock speeds. Because the chip size is small, you're able to increase these things in order to provide better performance. Along with that, you're gonna get a slightly better GPU for better gaming performance, but most importantly, you're gonna have the Bolong 5G modem installed. Now, I'm not sure if this is gonna be standard in all of the Mate 30 Pros, like every Mate 30 Pro is gonna have 5G, but my hunch feeling is that they're gonna have a Mate 30 Pro and then a 5G variant come out sometime in the next couple of months after its release. So a lot of the talk is around the camera, and quite frankly, I don't think the camera is gonna be a huge improvement from the P30 Pro. And the reason being is because the Mate series has never been about the camera. Usually they'll make it a little bit better than the P30 Pro, but it's not significant enough to really say that they're gonna do major things with it. You're gonna have the exact same amount of lenses, so you'll still have the same 40 megapixel sensor, you'll have the 8 megapixel telephoto lens, you have the 20 megapixel wide lens, and then of course the fourth lens will be a time of flight sensor. So very similar to the P30 Pro. Now I know there's some talk about using Cine lenses, but I think that's a lot of nonsense. Putting a Cine lens inside of a smartphone is not an easy feat. If you've seen these lenses in professional photography, you know these things are absolutely massive. And to incorporate that into a small device like a smartphone is not something that can be easily done. Now, if they do decide to go the Cine lens route, I think it'll be something to do with the P40 Pro, but not with the Mate 30 Pro. And with that, it's not gonna be a major big lens itself. It's gonna be something to do with a new type of sensor they're using compared or combined with computational photography. Now, one thing they are changing is the look of the cameras. Last year, we had a square layout in the back middle middle of the phone. This year, they're making it look like a circle. If they do that, I think this phone will even look better than it did before because it actually makes the phone look like a camera. And last up is the battery life. I think we're still gonna get that amazing battery life we got with the P30 Pro and the Mate 20 Pro. Right now in the Android world today, Huawei offers the best battery life. You can expect a 4200 or 4300 milliamp battery, bumping up the supercharge from 40 watts possibly to 55, so your smartphones should even charge even faster. Of course, wireless reverse charging will be there, whether you find it useful or not. But the big deal is combining all of that with the 7nm chip to provide extra efficiencies, which means better battery life. I don't know about you, but the Mate 30 Pro is looking to be a very, very sweet device. I'm not sure exactly how much this political battle between the US and China is going to affect their launch date, but if everything goes as planned, it will most likely be announced sometime in October. Anyways, that wraps up this first look at the Mate 30 Pro. It's gonna be different. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.